daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome then to the Road to World Cup 26. Yes, we're back. We're back after a little bit of a break, but only a short break, because I was away in Portugal and Ken was starring, and that's the only word I can use for this, by the way, starring in a fantastic show straight from the West End to what the little village, tiny little village hall in Kirk Langley, he was playing a great role of a. I don't want to ruin the story, but he was a plumber with a dark past. But he's back. He's back. He's trod the boards. His costume's back in a wardrobe, and he's back doing important stuff. Ken, how are you, my friend?
I feel like I'm slightly above this now. Frankly, you know, I'm now a massive West End star. That's the West End of Kirk Langley. I'm a massive West End star, and I feel like I'm just doing this as a kind of a favour to an old mate. But yeah, it was a triumph. It was. I think it was considered one of the best things that's happened at Kirk Langley Village Hall for at least 6 weeks.
So there's two things there. It was a triumph, and it was the best thing to happen at Kirk Langley Village Hall for 6 weeks. I think one of those two is correct, but I'm not telling you which one because I had the pleasure of seeing you, obviously.
Yeah, and it was all right, wasn't it? It was just one of those things that things went wrong, things went right. Everyone had a good time. No one died.
Yeah, absolutely. It was well, they did. Right. That's the whole point. It was a murder mystery. Yeah, you died on stage, even though your character survived.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I've been bitten by the book now. I want to go and do loads more of them.
No, please don't. Okay, please don't. It was a good night's entertainment. Because we got fish and chips halfway through, which is a great idea, by the way.
Yeah,
great idea. Anyway, on to the World Cup, because lots of things going on. Today we're going to have a look at Saudi Arabia, which we're going to do in just a moment. But before that, I've got no music for you today, unfortunately. My usual little musical interludes aren't working. But before we do that, we're going to do what we normally do, which is have a bit of breaking news. We'll have a look at Saudi Arabia. I'll pick out 3 players for you. Kenny's quiz, all about Saudi Arabia, so I hope you've done your homework wherever you are listening. No, but you haven't, mate. I know. No. And we'll finish up with a look at the manager and all predictions. How Saudi Arabia are going to get on? I don't think that's going to be a long conversation, if I'm brutally honest with you.
I'm not so sure, Nick.
Oh, really? Okay, fine. No,
I'm not so sure.
And, Ken will, of course, kick off the Saudi Arabia segment with a bit of history of Saudi Arabia in the World Cup. But before we get going with all of that, some World Cup news, and that really just is around qualification, because in the last few minutes, high drama. Okay. We are recording this at 4:38 p.m. UK time. In the last few minutes, the Republic of Ireland have qualified for the playoff competition for the World Cup, having stunned Hungary. They were 2-1 down with 10 minutes to go. Came back, scored in the 80th minute, scored in the 97th minute to win the game. Leapfrogged is the right phrase. Leapfrogged Hungary into second place, and will be in the playoffs. And that's an extraordinary thing, because it wasn't that long ago where they almost looked down and out.
No, they were miles out of it after 3 or 4 games.
But they beat Portugal and they beat Hungary in the last 2 games, and they were their biggest rivals. So massive congratulations to the Republic of Ireland, because they've done really, really well. And Troy Parrott particularly has got a hat-trick today. Done very well.
They've been in the doldrums, haven't they? Last few years.
They have been for quite some time.
Not been performing at the level we kind of came to expect of them.
No, correct. But let's hope we can see them in the USA. The Irish in America. Come on.
Got to be.
Half of
as long as they don't end up playing Wales in the qualification, playoff, then I'm torn right down the middle. But yeah, if they're not playing Wales, I want the Republic there.
Yeah, no, true. At the same time, Portugal were sealing their spot in the World Cup next year by putting 9 past Armenia. So they've just come off the pitch in the last few minutes. They've beaten Armenia 9-1 and have qualified for the World Cup. So they've become the fourth side from Europe to qualify from the World Cup. Testing your knowledge here, who are the other three? Quickly.
England, France, Croatia.
Correct. Brilliant. Well done, mate. Well done. You're on it.
Thank you.
You're on it. Yeah. West End has not gone to your
Kenny's quiz, I think, wasn't it?
No, it's not in Kenny Chris. So, well done to Portugal. But there's a bigger story going on here, Ken. There's a bigger story. And that is that Portugal's qualification today means that Cristiano Ronaldo, the global superstar who everyone wants to see, might not be playing at the World Cup next year in the early games.
Why?
Which is extraordinary. Because in the last game, a few days ago, against the Republic of Ireland, he got sent off straight red for violent conduct. It's an automatic 1-game ban, which was today, but normally FIFA then upgrades these things to 3-game ban. A 3-game ban would be expected for this kind of red card, which means he will miss the next 2 competitive games that Portugal play, and the next 2 competitive games that Portugal play are at the World Cup next year. So he might well miss the first 2 group stage games next year.
Well, that's very interesting because I think Portugal without Ronaldo, the 9-1 victory against Armenia obviously doesn't fit into this narrative. But I think without Cristiano Ronaldo, they're not anything like the team they are with him. So it could all be over by the time Ronaldo plays.
Well, that's my point. If they get 3 games, he'll play in the third one, but by then it might be too late. It probably won't be. I mean, I think Portugal would, even without him, would still be good enough to get out of group stages. But
you would think so, and today would certainly suggest that's the case. But it is another little twist of intrigue.
It is a little side story, my friend. A little side story. Elsewhere in Europe, what's going on here? Well, Spain, Switzerland, Austria have all taken big steps towards qualification. They'll probably all qualify in the next game. Belgium had their chance, but they lost strangely in the last game. They lost to who did they lose to? I forgot. Kazakhstan. I think they lost to. I think they lost to Kazakhstan.
I know it was 1-1. Wasn't it? Well, did they lose in the end? I think it was 1-1 at one point.
Was it 1-1? My apologies. No, it was 1-1. No, they didn't win. They didn't win. But
which opens the door for North Macedonia.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly that.
It's not even all of Macedonia. It's just the North.
I think that's just the North Macedonia. South Macedonians they'll be going, what on earth's going on? They want to go now.
They're in Greece.
But what it means is Wales have got to play North Macedonia still, and the likelihood. So North Macedonia is second, Wales are in third. The winner of that game is going to go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But there's still a bit of jeopardy here because if the unthinkable happens and Belgium lose to Liechtenstein, the winner of the Wales and North Macedonia game will qualify automatically.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So really what we're talking about is Wales or North Macedonia playing in the playoffs.
Exactly. So, yeah, but I'm an old romantic, and imagine if Liechtenstein somehow upset the footballing world and beat Belgium.
With all their superstars, Kevin De Bruyne and all this kind of stuff. No.
Just imagine it for a minute.
And they're a bit rivals, because they're very close geographically, Liechtenstein and Belgium. I think they might even share a border, if not very, very 50 miles between them.
Yeah. So, let's keep the dream going, because if Wales beat Macedonia, it's all grabs, mate. It is all up for grabs. Imagine this. Imagine Liechtenstein beating Belgium, Wales scoring in the 98th minute. Imagine that. I mean,
Keith Moore at the back post.
Yeah.
It could happen, just won't happen. Unfortunately, I think North Macedonia are probably going to do a job on Wales as well. So there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I mean, look, Wales have done very, very well. I think Craig Bellamy's doing a fantastic job.
He's a top guy.
So fingers crossed from this end. Really, I suppose that Wales can beat them. They do need to beat them. A draw's not going to be good enough. Elsewhere, Turkey, or Turkey, as we're now meant to pronounce it, I think, because everybody seems to be pronouncing it like that these days. They have secured at least a playoff spot, as have Bosnia and Herzegovina. So there's lots of stuff going on. Scotland, on the other hand, yeah, they've done what Scotland do typically, which is get so far, look like they're going to do something, and then blow up. So they lost to Greece the other day.
I know.
It's a shootout. It's a shootout when Scotland play Denmark. Whoever wins that game will go into playoffs.
Do you know, I think it's a bit of an unfair disadvantage of Bosnia and Herzegovina. There's actually two countries. I'm just pointing that out. I mean, it's like, yeah, we're playing France and Germany.
I don't know, because you could say, we're playing Wales and Scotland, but that wouldn't be any better than either playing Wales or Scotland.
No, that's probably true. Just thought I'd mention it. You don't get many. I mean, imagine if Bosnia and Herzegovina played Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, it'd just be all over the place, wouldn't
it? How many Herzegovinians are there in the Bosnia-Herzegovina team?
I don't know. It's just Kenny's quiz. 4. I don't know. I think we need to find out. That's the kind of stuff we need to find out. When they qualify, we're going to have to go a deep dive on. You can do Bosnia. I'll do Herzegovina.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll dominate that conversation, so I think they're all Bosnians. But I don't know that for a fact. I might just be completely and utterly making that up. So that's your World Cup news. Lots going on, and still more European games to happen today. England are playing. They're kicking off in about 10 minutes' time. Not that it matters.
Formality. Another won't concede. We'll score 3, and we're just world beaters.
The only interesting thing about that game is that Jude Bellingham's starting after his long time in exile over the last couple of call-ups. So I think this is a signal that he's back in the lineup, isn't it?
Yes.
I would think. But more games this week. So by the time we record next week, which will be Friday, I'll get back in the groove now that Ken's finished his amateur dramatics, then we'll know pretty much exactly what's going on in Europe in terms of who's qualified and who is in the playoffs. So an exciting week.
There's 30 teams now qualified, and it's going to be a chunk more by the end of next week, I think.
Yeah, we're getting there. One more thing just to mention in terms of teams that are playing. In Africa, the playoffs to see which country goes to the FIFA playoffs, so the Interfederation playoffs, and that will feature 6 teams, 2 of which will end up going to the World Cup. That's getting a little bit closer, and we have seen a departure from World Cup qualification of Cameroon. They lost to Congo DR to a 92nd minute goal in their semi-final. Nigeria beat Gabon 4-1 after extra time in their semi-final. So the playoff final in Africa, the winner of which will go to the FIFA playoff tournament, will be between Nigeria and Congo DR.
What's the DR stand for?
For Democratic Republic.
Dr. Congo.
It's what?
Dr.
Congo. The doctor will see you now. What's his name? Dr. Congo. Yeah, okay. I think I'm all right now, thanks. I think I'm feeling a bit better. They haven't played the World Cup 52 years. 52 years.
Right.
Congo, they are only a couple of games away. So that's your World Cup news. Let's move on, shall we, to then having a little look at Saudi Arabia. Ken,
before we do that,
all going?
I'll do a little bit of an ad. Seems like an ad break. 30 minutes.
Can you do it right? Can you do an ad? And please, can you do the ad in the character of Barney? What was your character's name? Barney Huggins.
Dudley Huggins.
Dudley Huggins. Yeah.
Dudley Huggins, the company plumber. Okay.
Yeah.
Here goes. Okay. As we know, in football, it pays to get your team selection right. And here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner. We chose Zencastr. Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life, share it with your audience wherever they may be, because it's got 4K video recording, it's got easy AI editing tools, it's even got top-tier distribution tools all in one toolbox. If you've got a story to tell, you tell it with Zencastr, because if you check the show notes for more details, you'll not regret it.
Bravo, sir.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
In case anybody was wondering, that's Dudley the plumber. I know this isn't immediately obvious, but he was meant to be a Cockney plumber. So I'll let you be the judge of that. So, Ken, what about Saudi Arabia and the World Cup?
Okay, here we go. So, Saudi Arabia, the footballing kind of history goes back to 1951. And They're known as Al Sukor Al Arabia, which means the Arabian Falcons. So that's their kind of nickname. They play in the Asian Football Confederation, not in Africa, in the Asian Confederation. They've won the AFC Asian Cup 3 times in 1984, 1988, and 1996. They've qualified for the World Cup how many times, Nick, including this time?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, they're a new nation. They obviously qualified for the last one because they beat Argentina very famously at Qatar.
Yeah.
But not, I don't know, not often, I would say. 6.
Well, close. 7.
Ah,
1994 was the most successful. They reached the round of 16. They beat both Belgium and Morocco in the group stages before being beaten by Sweden in the round of 16. They're the only second Arab team after Morocco to reach the knockout stages. As you rightly say, 2022 was a bit of a high point. Saudi beat Argentina 2-1. First time Argentina has lost to any Asian representative at the World Cup. And so they've got some form, certainly in terms of reaching the World Cup and actually progressing. It's worth just factoring this in. Of course, the Saudi Pro League, if you like, is a big old thing these days. And it's probably had the effect of increasing the capability of a few Saudi players along the way, given the level of the competition. So here's an interesting thing. I always look, when we're looking at form of these teams, as to how many games they've played in the course of the last year, really. Normally it's like 6 or 7 or 8, sometimes it's 9. Saudi Arabia played 21 games, competitive games, in the last year. 21. By far the most I've come across, almost by a factor of 2. So they've, in these 21 games in the last year, they've won 10 of them, they've drawn 4, they've lost 7, but the standard has been quite high. It's almost like they've been trying to, in their friendlies, prepare for the World Cup. So they've had victories against Ivory Coast. They beat North Macedonia, which we know are doing pretty well in the Euros. They drew against Japan and the Czech Republic and Australia. There's no what's the word? There's no, defeat in that, in the sense of what it's a draw. So there's a clear no defeat. But they can be proud of that. They've lost against teams like USA and Mexico, who you'd expect them to lose to, because Mexico are right up there. I think 11th in the rankings. USA are right up there. But of those 21 games, they're very hard to break down. They don't concede many. So they're definitely a team that's not without a chance. Well, not without a chance. I don't want to win it, but not without a chance of progressing. They're currently ranked, and we know how much you like ranking, Nick. They're currently ranked 58th. They reached the dizzy heights of what?
The joke's never going to get old. The joke is never going to get old.
Never
every week.
So they reached the dizzy heights in July 2004. Of what position in the rankings, Nick?
32nd.
21st. So they'd reached 21st by July 2004. Unfortunately, by July 2012, they were 126th. So clearly the wheels fell off the chariot, or whatever. The legs fell off the camel. And they clearly went that direction. Since then, can you say that? I think you can. Since then, there's been a pretty inexorable rise, and now they're 58th in the latest ranking. So, of course, we've got a 48-team World Cup. So they've done well to get there. Can they go any further? Time will tell. But they're not the mugs that people might think they are, is what my view would be.
I don't think anybody does think that much, do they? I do agree with you because most of their players play in the Saudi Pro League, and that, I think, has for sure, having a really high quality of players compared to what they're used to in the last 3 years, would have helped them. It would have helped the individual players get better, and I think that's a really good point to make. It's a really good point.
It is. I can only make good points. Just to let you know on that, I did a little bit of deep. When I realised, when that thought came to me, I thought, well, who is playing in the Saudi Pro League these days? Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, Karim Benzema, Sadio Mane, Riyad Mahrez, Darwin Núñez. You're playing with those kind of players on a regular basis in the league. The tide is going to rise for everyone, I would imagine.
If we put the Saudi national team against a team of foreigners playing in the Saudi Pro League, who would win?
The team of foreigners playing in the Saudi League quite handsomely.
Depends which foreigners. I didn't say the best foreigners.
Oh, like me and you, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like from Greece.
No, we're not playing in the Saudi Pro League. But yeah, I did mean that, obviously.
Yeah.
I did mean it.
Yeah, but my point being, I think that the level of competition in Saudi, considering they most only do play in Saudi, is completely different to the standard it was 10 years ago. And I think
I totally agree, yeah.
We'll see the benefit. I think they will see the benefit of the World Cup.
Very good. Well, that's a tantalising thought, my friend. A tantalising thought. 3 players that I have had a look at, who I expect to see at the World Cup next year. The first one is a defender by the name of Said Al Musa, and he's a fairly new one to the Saudi national team. He's only got 3 caps. He made his debut in 2024, but he had a brilliant season last season with Al Ittihad. Absolutely rock solid at the back. They're the second best defensive record in the league, and a lot of that was down to Al Musa, and his star is very much in the ascendancy. Very good player. He's only 22 years old. He's now playing for Al Ittihad permanently, and is managed by Laurent Blanc, who we all know from his time in France. So I think he's somebody who is going to feature quite heavily at the World Cup. I'd say he's just fairly new to the international scene, but somebody I expect to see a lot more of going forward. Second one then is, who should we go for? We should go for Musab Al-Jouari. Jouar. I don't know how to pronounce this. Jouwayr. What do you reckon?
Jouwayr.
Jouwayr?
Oh, Jouwayr.
Yeah, Jouwayr. Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I was right the first time. Anyway, he's 21-year-old midfielder, plays for Al Qasir, one of the big teams in the Saudi Pro League. Last year, his big breakout season, it was actually when he was on loan. He was on loan at Al Shabib, but he scored 5 goals. He had 10 assists, and he absolutely. I mean, they do a young player of the month award. He won it every single month last season.
Wow.
He won it every single month. That's how good he was. And he was then named very recently the RSL's best young player in the end of season's awards. So, again, I'm expecting big things from him. Young, quick, and a good player. And then lastly, it's really only right to end on the absolute godfather of Saudi Arabian football, the legend of Saudi Arabian football, who is Salem Al Dawsari. Dawsari, rather. Sorry, I get his name wrong. 34 years old. He's a winger. He's captain. 102 caps, 25 goals. Very much widely regarded as the standout Saudi player of his generation. Just recently, he was named the AFC Player of the Year for the second time, and people may remember him when he scored against Argentina in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where he ran around the box and stuck it past Emiliano Martinez to put Saudi Arabia 2-1 up. They, of course, won the game in a moment of World Cup history. So, yeah, he's the years aren't kind to him. He's at the wrong end of his career to be playing at the World Cup, but he's very much the legend of Saudi Arabian football.
Very good.
So they are 3 players. They are 3 players who I expect to see more of at the World Cup next year. What formation might they play in, Ken?
Well, this is quite an interesting one, actually, because we do a lot of homework in relation to these podcasts. So I've been down through the last 10 games, really, of formation, just to check nothing weird was happening. And guess what? Something weird was happening. in relation to Saudi Arabia. What tends to happen is this. In their World Cup qualifications, they tend to play a 4-2-3-1. So last few games, Iraq, for example, they drew 0-0. Indonesia, where they won 3-2, really to clinch their qualification. They were playing a 4-2-3-1. Everything. So I'm expecting now to go back and see 4-2-3-1 all the way through. Doesn't work like that. In their friendlies against better opposition, so for example, the 1-0 victory against the Ivory Coast, the 1-1 draw against the Czech Republic, a 2-1 victory against North Macedonia, the 1-0 defeat against USA, they weren't playing a 4-2-3-1. They were playing a 4-3-3. So I suspect, actually, at the World Cup, they'll play a 4-3-3 because I think they're working on the basis that they're coming against better opposition. Strangely, against all the games I can see against teams who are not in the AFC, they played a 4-3-3. They only played a 4-2-3-1 against the AFC, relatively poor competition. So that's a clue. So I think they're going to end up playing a 4-3-3. What is very clear is they've got a very solid four across the back, never changes, and they're very, very solid. They don't concede many. It's really just a question of whether they're playing the two holding midfielders, allowing the three to bomb on, or they're going to play 4-3-3. But I suspect it'll be a 4-3-3, and I think they'll be quite an entertaining team to watch.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well done. It's everybody's favourite time of the week. It's time for Kenny's quiz. I hope the music's playing there because I couldn't hear a thing. But you were listening.
I can hear it.
That's good.
I was doing my saxophone solo.
Yeah, is that what it was? Right. I thought you were just fiddling with your pipe.
I beg your pardon.
Right. Three questions. Ken, I've got 12 questions here in front of me on Saudi Arabia. I'm going to ask you to choose a number between 1 and 12. I'm going to have 3 questions. Pick me a number between 1 and 12.
Okay, 2. I don't feel very confident about this at all.
No. I'm like, he's got 12. Oh, he definitely won't pick number 2. He definitely won't pick number 2. Because that's like the easiest question out of the whole lot. That's so annoying. There are some easy ones and some not so easy ones, but that is easy. So, what is the capital city of Saudi Arabia?
Okay, I should know this.
Oh, mate, come on. We should be on to question 2 by now.
Well, I may get this wrong, but there's a city that's coming to me that I think is right. Jeddah?
Incorrect. Oh, he's blown it. He's fallen at the first. I can't believe it.
What is it?
I can't believe it. It's Riyadh.
Oh, God.
Mate, I thought that was like...
It is easy.
It is easy, yeah. You should know that.
I feel such a fool.
Yeah, a man of your intellect should know.
If you know Jeddah, you're going to know Riyadh, aren't you?
Yeah.
What a fool. Oh, my God.
Well, there we go. Don't worry, there are 2 or 3 very easy ones in here as well, right. If you pick the right numbers. So give me a number between 1 and 12. Not
5.
2. 5. The 5 is, what is the national currency of Saudi Arabia? Well, look at home. Whilst Ken's collapsing in his chair.
I've got a feeling it's the.
Shout it out.
I'm Saudi Arabian Riyal.
The what? The Saudi Arabian Riyal.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Well done. Okay, that was probably harder than the other one, but well done.
It was.
Good work. So it's 1-1 with 1 to play. There's all to play for. Can Kenny come out victorious for this week's Kenny's quiz? How are you doing at home? Hope you've got 2 out of 2, but give me a number between 1 and 12.
12.
Number 12. Where is the National Museum of Saudi Arabia located?
Do you want a city?
Well, you can't just say Saudi Arabia because I think that's a bit obvious.
Yeah, it would be. But you don't want the street, do you? I mean,
a postal address would be good.
I'm going to say Jeddah.
No, it's Riyadh again. I'll tell you what, the people of Riyadh will be writing you a very stern letter, my friend.
I bet Jeddah's not even in Saudi Arabia.
Well, yeah, it's in Norfolk, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't
Once we
believe this. Oh,
once you worked out that Riyadh was the capital city of Saudi, surely the National Museum's going to be in the capital city. It's a bit like saying, "Where's the National Museum of England?" Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's in
Coventry.
Cornwall somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
All
like,
right.
come
You don't
on.
have to rub my stupidity in my face, but yeah, that is pretty stupid.
Yeah. I think you chose, mate. Honestly, you chose three very gettable questions there. There are some which you just go,
You've done me
no
for
chance.
worse.
You
Not
got
many
three
people are
gettable
getting
questions.
Real, though, are they? Let's be honest. I did well on that.
You did. That was the one I probably didn't expect to get. So 1 out of 3. No, not great, mate. Not great. I'm afraid this
No,
week.
I didn't have a good feeling about it from day one, to be honest.
No, fair enough. Well, I hope you did better at home and playing along, and I hope you got 3 out of 3. And let's hope we can go at least 2 better next week when we go to wherever it is we're going. We'll find that out at the end of the show. But before we move on and have a very quick look at the manager, Ken, a word from our sponsors, please.
Well, do you want it in normal voice? Yeah, I'll do it in normal voice. A Global Sports Podcast Network is partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalized supplements, because your body is unique. And because without knowing what deficiencies you have, if you take off the shelf supplements, you might not be getting enough of the nutrients you need. You may be getting too many of the ones you don't need. So Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels. So if you want to click the link in the show notes, you can use the code GSPN 2025. You'll get 40% off your first order.
Very good. Right. Before Ken tells the world exactly, and I mean exactly, where Saudi Arabia will finish in the World Cup, who is their manager? Well, he's got quite a good story to tell, this fella. Hervé Renard is the manager of the Saudi national team. He's a French, as if you couldn't guess from my excellent accent, by the way.
That was
As one of us can act here.
it's better than your Arabic. Let's put it that way.
That is true. Hervé Renard is a former professional football player and indeed a professional coach. What I like about him is he has extensive. This might do Saudi Arabia well here. He's got extensive experience of international football management. And when I was researching this, one thing I didn't have time to do, but I might try and do before next week, is see if there's any other manager out there who's managed more international teams than this guy. Because he's managed Zambia, and he won the 2012 African Nations Cup with them. He's managed the Ivory Coast, who he also won the African Cup of Nations. That was in 2015. He's coached Morocco at the 2018 World Cup. He was then manager of Saudi Arabia between 2019 and 2023 before leaving to take charge of the French women's national team, who he coached there in the 2023 Women's World Cup. In doing so, by the way, became the first coach ever in history of football to win a match in both the men's and the women's World Cup. And then rejoined Saudi Arabia for the second stint in October last year, 2024. So he's got pedigree on the international stage, that's for sure. And he's had decent success, I've got to say. He's had decent success. So I'm starting to think, actually, doing this podcast and now sort of chatting it through with you, I think my opinion of Saudi Arabia is starting to change quite a lot.
I think it needs to.
Yeah. So we're going to finish the podcast by going through where we think Saudi Arabia will finish. I'm crossing out. I'm changing my mind on this.
I know where you were. I know where you were. I don't know where you're moving to.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, mate? Whilst I
I
just kind of
will.
make up my
I'll
mind
go
on this?
first. Saudi Arabia are far from being the worst team at the World Cup. They've got, as you've just been explaining, they've got a decent coach who's very experienced. They are very serious about this World Cup, I think, Saudi Arabia. And I think this thing about, blimey, they've played 20-odd games in the last 12 months. It's not an accident. They've played more friendlies than anybody else. They've been playing in the AFC competition as well. They're defensively very solid. They're quite competitive against better opposition. Often what we see is teams that have got great form, but they're against teams who are in the 150 to 200 range of FIFA ranking. This isn't the case with Saudi Arabia. They've played much better teams. Going back to the point you're making about actually some of the world's greatest players play in the Saudi Pro League, and there's no doubt their players will benefit from that, and they've been benefiting from it for about the last 4 years. So the other thing to factor in, by the way, might be a small thing, maybe a big thing, is the weather. They are used to playing in hot conditions, and there's going to be plenty of hot conditions going on in the World Cup in America and Mexico and Canada. So what I'm getting around to saying is Saudi Arabia are going to surprise some people, and they're going to get further than anybody thinks. My toss-up was round 32 or round 16. I am going for round 16. Round of 16 is how far they'll get, in my opinion.
Good. Very good and well rationalised. I'm going to add one thing to it, which taps into your narrative and taps into it well, I think, is that for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, next year is a huge, momentous event politically. And that is, of course, they are investing a huge amounts of money in football, in sport, generally golf, boxing, this, that, and the other. Yeah. They will not want the embarrassment of having a rubbish World Cup.
Correct.
It's become I think it's because they will want to politically be seen as a national team to underline the nation's seriousness in the world of sport. They will want to be seen to be having a good World Cup. They won't want the national team to be sort of embarrassingly bundled out with no points in the group stages. So I think that kind of taps into your narrative, Ken, a little bit there. And yeah, I'm coming around to it all. So I think 16 might be a bit of a stretch, but they should make it out of the group stages. And I'm going to go for getting out of group stages and going out in round of 32.
Well,
which won't be a bad thing. It won't be a bad thing. I think if they get out of the group stages, they'll be, because they didn't do that at Qatar, although they did beat Argentina. That will signify progress, and that'll be their first aim.
It will be considered a success. They are ranked 58th. If they get to round of 32, they've had a very good World Cup. I just fancy them to be a bit better than that. But I tell you what, there won't be many, well, there aren't any World Cup podcasts anyway, but there won't many pundits of the World Cup suggesting that Saudi Arabia are going to get to round of 32 or round of 16. And guess what? When it happens, you'll be able to say, Nick and Ken told me that.
Exactly that. And we will share our glory with you. Don't be afraid of that. You're part of the family. So, you're part of our family.
We'll be carried shoulder high through Riyadh.
Not Jeddah.
To the museum of Saudi football.
Yeah, and big sign saying capital city.
Yeah, you are here. Yeah, and it'll be a big thing saying Jeddah and a big line through it, like Riyadh.
Yeah. So there we are. Right. If you want to get in touch with us, Ken, how do you get in touch with us?
Well, best thing to do is probably send us an email. About time we should do an email, because we've had a few emails we need to deal with. It's roadtoworldcup26@gmail.com. Road to World Cup podcast. Road to World Cup 26 podcast. It's in the show notes.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know, do you?
Gmail Road 26 podcast at gmail.co.uk.
It's right. It isn't any of those things. It's road to World Cup 26@gmail.com.
Road to World Cup.
Which I asked you because you already know. But, okay. I must just do it myself.
It's road to World Cup 26@gmail.com.
I know. Anyway, we'll soon be holding auditions for co-hosts because the theatre's clearly got to Ken's head. He can't even remember an email.
Or speak Arabic.
yeah, better than either of us, that's for sure. Right, Kenny, where are we going next week, my friend?
We are going to South Africa.
Oh,
surprise you! You don't know where we're going next, do you? It's like bing, we're going to South Africa.
Next up to you. I was watching a very good program about South Africa just this afternoon when I was doing various bits and bobs. It was on in the background. So I'll look forward to going to South Africa next week with you.
Brilliant. Looking forward to it as well. It's going to be an interesting one, actually.
Yeah, I think so. So join us then. Thank you very much. It's good to be back after our little enforced break. It's good to be back with you. Thanks for joining us. As always, thanks for making this your weekly listen. And thanks indeed, you don't have to say thanks indeed, for sharing with us the World Cup journey. The World Cup journey. Because every week goes by, it's just getting a little bit closer.
We're kind of
So that's all for
halfway
now,
there,
Ken.
aren't we? We're kind of halfway there.
Yeah, it's not far, mate. It's not far. Thanks very much, Ken. And I will see you, of course. Well, we've got Daily Premier League podcast, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So see you Friday for Road to World Cup 26. And for everybody else, have a great week. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Goodbye. Bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.